is going to look at how we use the transform tool in Photoshop. Now, if you followed the other videos, you'll have seen a bit of this in the other video. If this is the first one you're watching, the transform tool allows us to manipulate layers, to resize them, spin them around, turn them over, whatever we want to do, we can skew it. So what we're going to work with here, let's just start off with this green logo in the middle here. So I need to make sure I've got the layer selected on the right hand side. That's very important. So notice obviously if I haven't, I'm not necessarily working with that logo. So I'm going to select the green one here and using that there. Now there's two ways to select the transform. You can go to edit and choose transform, and then obviously you can play about with these different things here. Or alternatively, you can just press Command T, and that brings up these boxes, and then you can resize, but notice how when I'm doing this, it's skewing the shape of it, which we don't want to do. If I now hold down Shift, which is like a little upwards arrow, there should be on the bottom left of your keyboard, second button up from the left, from the bottom. If you hold that down, that won't let you then, you can resize it, but it'll keep it all in perspective. Okay, so obviously get it the size you want it. Other things you can do as you move your mouse around whilst the transform tool is on, notice how the arrows change as I move around. So I can spin this round. Maybe you want, don't know why you would want that upside down, but you'd want it, diagonal maybe. It's up to you, depending on kind of like the approach you're going for. And once you're done, you have to hit enter, and that will then confirm all your changes and put things in place there like that. So let's look at this image of the coffee cup this morning in the bottom corner here, because this obviously doesn't have any text on it, so we can probably do a bit more with this. Now, if I put the transform on here, I could potentially say I'm like, right, I really like this image, but I want these coffee beans over here. All I'm going to do is drag from the left across to the right. It's gone underneath my image now. But what that's basically done is just flip my image over. Let's just turn that layer off. Let's just turn that off here so we can see what happened there. So what I did there was simply flip it round. So we've now got it this way around. Obviously you want to get it looking about right. The cup should be round. So that looks about right. Hit enter. We've now turned that around. Okay, and obviously you can do the same thing the other way around. You might want the coffee beans down here. So if we flip it up this way, let's obviously get it looking the right shape. We've now turned it right around. Obviously, other ways you can do that is simply to rotate it. It's up to you how you go about doing that. So that's kind of using those tools there. You might have noticed also in the transform options you have the option to skew, which allows you to change the shape of it more like this. So maybe you're trying to sort of make something fit along the edge of another logo or something like that. So you can kind of skew your image a bit. Other things you can do are to distort. Okay, so quite similar to the skew, but it allows you much more sort of flexibility of what you're doing. So that's the transform tool. Obviously they're the basics, but you can apply it to pretty much anything that you're wanting to do. Logos, for instance, in particular, don't necessarily have to be the right way up. So not that logo. Let's select this logo. So maybe you want to have this logo in the corner up here, but sideways. So let's put it on the side. Notice the degrees as you turn it around. Let's put it over here. Let's make it a bit smaller so that it kind of fits nicely in that corner. And then hit enter. There we go. One more thing that you may have noticed as we were doing that, there's a little crosshair in the middle. When we're rotating, it's rotating around that point. Now we can move that, and let's put it in the corner up here. Now watch what happens when we rotate. So ultimately that's like anchoring where our thing rotates from. So it just gives you that kind of flexibility to be able to rotate things from different points. So that's that. So that is your transform tool.